With over 12 years of experience in autism advocacy and social entrepreneurship, she earned national and international recognition, including awards from the EU, UN, and the Standard Chartered Bank Women in Tech competition. She's also the lead for UNFPA Autism Project in Ghana and has been featured on many international media platforms. Despite all her busy schedules, she still has time for a master's degree in social policy at the University of Ghana. Alice Akosia Mamaga. Can I call you Mamaga?
Yes, you can.
It's good to have you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And last but not least, we're privileged to have a renowned and retired civil servant with a distinguished career in social work within the Ghana civil and local government space. Served as a Department of Social Welfare for the Okankwe North Municipal Assembly, where he became head of department. Aaron Anthony Suka has a strong foundation in social development and governance with a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology and Political Science from the University of Ghana, as well as a diploma in social work. Throughout his service, he dedicated his professional life to advancing community welfare, promoting social justice, and supporting vulnerable groups. He's now retired, but continues to contribute to the development of the public space. Mr. Suka, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's great to have you.
Yeah.
Today's edition of EdTech Monday is on Channel 1 Television and on 97.3 Citi FM. So we're going to set the scene to address a few critical questions. I'm going to start with Auntie Getty. And I think it's important to start off by getting a sense of where the issues are as long as children with special needs are concerned. So my question to you is, what role can EdTech play in advancing inclusive education for learners with disabilities in Africa?
Thank you, Ben. A very important question. And as we all agree, today, technology serves as the foundation for many things, including education, and for that matter, inclusive education. It's a basis for acquiring knowledge and is a basis for impacting knowledge. So either from the space of the learner or a child with disability, or given by the instructor, the teacher, the trainer, parents, home, talk about them. Technology cannot be underestimated. It's really so important. And again, when it comes to learners with disability, there is so much barrier. There's barrier in the sense that a lot of the information we gather in print and even electronically is still not accessible. And so for me as a visually impaired person, if you produce your document in print and I want to read it, either I have to scan it, and that is technology, so that it can come into a speech format, or it has to be sent to me in word format, like onto my computer, so that there is a screen display. There are people who cannot even talk. And there are people who cannot interact with the everyday language. Technology gives it all the different spaces and the dynamics that enables interaction. So there should be three things I want to emphasize. One, the kit. Two, the content. And three, confidence. What is the kit? The equipment that the person would require to use and the modification that comes with it. So for instance, I have here a standard computer, but I also have here a Braille note. Thanks to my department, my employer, the site savers, who bought it for me. So I can have them, and this is a complete laptop, but with Braille kits and a Braille display. We need some, and different persons with disabilities need them. Then the content. Having the kits alone is not enough. The information on it has to be accessible. Is it a primary one class textbook? Or is it a JSS examination material. It has to be in a such that the user should be able to interact, understand, learn in its diversities. So the content is important. Not just have the kits and there's no content or not adequate content. And the confidence. How do I utilize it? Where am I trained? When am I mentored? Who encourages me? What are the role models? And what is my teacher telling me? What are my other siblings saying? What is the society saying? And what policy has government put in place so that I would have the confidence, we have the skills, we have the enthusiasm to utilize the equipment and the content that has been put on it.
Wow. So EdTech is critical using your KCC model, KIT, content, confidence. With that foundation, let me come to Mamaga. You are a founder of Autism Advocacy, but also an inventor of the app. So using autism as a case study, talk to me about how technology transformed the advocacy and support for children with special needs.
Thank you for this, Bernard. Technology has been an important tool of change when it comes to the lives of special needs children or persons with disabilities. To talk about special needs children before even delving into autism, we are looking at a group of people who need extra care in achieving an activity. So this group of people includes, persons that have impairments in communication, learning disability, emotional needs, and a lot more of them. But if you are looking at persons with autism, technology becomes a very profound tool that helps them to improve on their life. The greatest impairment for every person with autism has to do with communication difficulty, behavior issues, and challenges in interacting with people. We call it a triad of impairments when talking about persons living with autism. Now, technology comes in mainly to help them to improve on their communication, to be able to say that, Bernard, I need water, I want to eat, I want to read a book. This is how I'm reading my book. This is the challenges I'm encountering in my everyday living. If these things are not provided to support a child with autism or a person with autism, it makes life very frustrating. Beyond technology helping persons with autism to improve on their communication, now it comes to awareness. That is where the advocacy comes in. Thanks to social media, now we have a lot of autism stories online for the rest of the society to learn from, to understand the condition mainly and know how best to treat them in the society or include them in everything that we are doing. Unfortunately, the part of the world where we are coming from has a lot of superstitions and, cultural narratives around autism and other, disability issues. And so social media has helped sharing these stories to help people understand that autism is not as, scary as we've all known it to be. But if you are able to provide the necessary therapies and technologies that can help improve on the child's life, then the child will be better. And I think thirdly, technology has helped various caregivers and professionals in the, in the circles of autism to enhance their skills. We are coming from a part of the world where we don't have all the needed resources to do the work of special needs and autism. But thankfully, those in the Western countries have advanced so well. And so technology helps us to be able to learn from how they are using, their modern technology and tools and how they are doing their work so that we could also do our work here in Ghana.
So communication, behavior, interaction, communication, all these things technology can help to
improve.
Let me take the first thought of Mr. Suka. So you work as a social worker and you work in the communities, right? But how do you envision EdTech complementing community and government efforts to support vulnerable groups?
Okay, I'm privileged. We see vulnerable people in our lives all the days. They are around us. They are in our homes. They are in our communities. They are in the workplaces, marketplaces, and even in the street begging. They are handicapped, finding it difficult to do things others do easily. in this case, they have disabilities. It is a disability which make them handicapped in what? Doing things others do easily. They are visually, some are visually impaired, speech impaired, have multiple disabilities. They are physically challenged. So they can't do things like how mainstream people can do their things. So when government brings technology like this EdTech, it helps them to also do things like, for instance, some are even excluded in society. They are disadvantaged. So government and community needs to do something about their situation. So in this case, government has come up with solutions, some sort of solutions. In this case, I envision that EdTech comes to support government and community efforts in educating these groups. For instance, because they are marginalized, they find it difficult to join other people in doing what they have to do better. Now, government has come up, or let me say, government has done so much. For instance, government has provided DACF, like District Assembly Common Fund, to help them. What I want to say is that government has come a long way in helping these people to also come up with, what do you call it? To also be...
they provide financial resources to help them bridge those learning gaps.
Yes.
Using examples of this Assembly Common Fund.
That is it.
Okay.
There is this provision of this NHIS.
Okay.
For the PWDs.
All right.
Okay. They also there are also schools for the visually impaired, schools for the speech impaired people. That's all that government has done.
So those are some of the things that government has done. We'll explore later more.
Yes.
when we come back.
Now, to conclude in a short way.
Okay.
This EdTech, what will it do to support the people? It will enhance their social interaction through virtual meetings. They can also contribute to society as, excuse me to say, Madam is doing all over, even though in her situation. But then look at what she is doing for the whole world.
All right.
Yeah.
This is EdTech Monday. We're discussing how technology in education can help bridge the gap for learning and access for special needs learners. We have a very interesting panel. We went to town to also pick various perspectives on the issue. We're going to bring you a quick flavor of those sights and sounds from the industry.
Technology makes learning easier for kids with special needs by making learning become personalized. It also engages them. And then also they are able to learn at their own pace. The role that health and education partnership plays is that a child needs to be physically fit, mentally sound, and then also psychologically should have a stable mind to be able to learn very well. And I believe that this calls for this inclusive learning. Learning does not need only teachers that are assigned to one particular subject, or when it comes to learning environments like the schools, I believe we need other practitioners like health workers, the psychologists, we need the counselors, we need other practitioners that, inclusively will help to bring out not just the educational aspects of the child, but the supportive aspects as well. One tool that I believe can help in all-inclusive learning is the voice-assisted learning too. And I think we also have videos, that can be shown to assist the children in learning.
Welcome back. This is EdTech Monday, the October edition, and we're discussing EdTech for special needs, inclusive education for a very interesting panel. I have Mrs. Gertrude Oforiwa Fefuame, who is a renowned international advocate for disability rights, gender equity, and inclusive education. I also have Miss Alice Mamaga Akosua Amwako, who is, I call her a techpreneur, right? So she's a founder of Autism Ambassadors Ghana, but also founder or co-developer of the Autism Aid app, a digital social entrepreneur. And then I have a social worker who's on retirement but still contributing, Anthony Aaron Suka, a retired civil servant who is a social worker as well. All right, so let's come back and look into the issues a bit more. I'm coming back to you, Auntie Getty. How can EdTech be made more accessible and affordable for learners with special needs?
Very important, thank you, Ben. Despite the fact that globally, continentally, nationally, we emphasize the need of technology and its usage and have identified it as a very important tool to break the barriers, as we have been discussing earlier. It stands to be one of the difficult areas to break through. And it's because of one, funding. A technology difficulty and the kits, the training and the understanding is weak. Because of that, it's usually more expensive than what ordinary people can buy. And so in some countries, some funds are set up so that when you require it, you apply and then you use it, or they supply you. In Ghana, for instance, there is an opportunity of tax reliefs for manufacturers and tax relief for importers. But its effectiveness is something that we need to look at. So the cost of the equipment needs to be made affordable, cheaper, so that people could use it and access it. Then how it can be is awareness. So bravo to Master Foundation and West Africa and all the other efforts, including what the organizations of persons with disabilities and everybody has been doing, including my organization, Sight Savers, as well. Raising awareness that it is important. It should not be an afterthought. It is not an issue of disability being a barrier. It is an issue of the behavior, the attitude, the stigma, the discrimination being a barrier. So if we think at the same time when we are producing, if we think at the same time when we are supplying and supply everybody, then training is getting better, but not yet there. I had to go and do my training in 1999 in South Africa, thanks to the World Blind Union. Now, as Ghana Union of the Blind for Blindness, and for many of the enterprises, we are introducing training, but it's not yet enough. And then also repairing of the equipment. So you can get equipment sometimes, and when you get it, to maintain and to repair also becomes a challenge. The other accessibility issue is the advocacy. That all and sundry need to come and join the voices of persons with disabilities, of Citi FM channel, that we have has to be more and more and more until everybody in the village, in the town, and the producer gets to understand that it has to be on equal basis with others. And that there are a variety of persons with disabilities. So you don't only produce for persons with visual impairment and leave persons with speech impairment or persons with intellectual disability, name them. We have so the whole spectrum need to be looked at and then involve persons with disabilities in the discussion.
Okay. That's wonderful.
Yes.
I know there's a lot more you can say, but at least I picked the cost issue, awareness creation, advocacy.
Training.
Training is also there as well.
Yes.
Let me come to Mamaga. So you're a co-developer of an app that is the first of its kind in the sub-region to help children with autism. Talk a bit about how that app works and how it's helped the communication and the interaction and behavior of autistic children, and generally on how or what other innovations are able to bridge learning gaps for children.
The Autism Aid app, which is the first mobile app for kids with autism in Ghana and West Africa, came into existence in 2016. It was actually my final year project in the university.
Is it?
And I was very intentional and interested in the whole cause. And so after school, I still had to pursue it to make it a real market product. This is a system that helps children living with autism with communication tools to help them to be able to communicate and interact with people around them. So it provides various audiovisual images. So you click on an image and it comes with a sound that can tell you that this is what I need, or this is what I want, or this is what I want to use. The app also has a feature of awareness where families and people in the society of a particular child or in the community can get to learn more about the condition. Because not to forget that these kids are not living on their own. They depend on families, they depend on parents, they depend on people in the society who one way or the other may not understand how best to support them. So the app also has an awareness feature to help people in the society to understand autism very well. The third feature of the Autism Aid app is a helpline that connects professionals to families of kids with autism. Unfortunately, in Ghana, we do not have access to so many professionals in the autism field. We don't have the institutes or the institutions that can train so many professionals in autism. And so for the few we have here, mostly in Accra, are serving the whole of Ghana. And so it becomes very difficult for families of kids with autism to have access to the right therapies. And so the app, the Autism Aid app, also helps to bridge that gap, where you can get connected to a professional, if you are in Northern region, can get connected to, a speech therapist in Accra here, who can have an online session with you and support you through the care of your child. That has been what Ghana has used for the past almost 10 years.
Wow.
It hasn't been an easy journey on it. Looking forward to more young, tech entrepreneurs to dive into the aspects of developing innovations to support children living with autism and other disabilities as well. But for the African region, there are other two, systems that support kids with autism as well. So South Africa has an app we call Traco.
Traco.
Yes, it helps to track the clinical journey of a child with autism. So how the child is improving, at what step, and which other therapy that they need to improve on their living. And Nigeria also have what we call the Bloom Buddy, which was developed in partnership with Autism Speaks. Autism Speaks is the biggest autism group in the whole of the world. And then the Bloom Buddy also helps with a screening tool to help diagnose a child living with autism accurately. So autism is a spectrum. Every child with autism is different, even if they are twins. And so this child may be in a particular need, which is different from what another child would need. But the Bloom Buddy helps them to have a good screening tool that is quite specific to the Nigerian region and helps them to understand what need to provide for each child. So this has been the 3 apps that we've had in the African region for the past 10 years.
So we have your
Autism Aid app.
Autism Aid app. We have the Traco.
And then we have the Bloom Buddy from Nigeria.
Just to elaborate, the way autism works, I suspect these apps cannot just be used by the person, but by the ecosystem around. So, for example, the primary caregiver. So it's not just an app for the child.
Not just for the child.
So it has to be used communally for it to be
Yeah, so all the support system of that particular child has a particular feature they need to use to help the child to be very functional in using that particular technology.
Because what I've learned is that, especially with disability generally and special needs, a lot of times the problem is not even the person who suffers the inability. It is the people around and their willingness to engage, their willingness to learn.
To understand the condition better.
So a lot of times when the primary caregiver is not there, even though the person may want to improve, it's difficult. So
very, very difficult.
Wonderful.
I think in the submission of Auntie Gertrude, made mention of affordability and accessibility of technology in supporting special needs. And so, for instance, all these 3 apps that I've mentioned are free to access.
Okay.
But one challenges, we realized when implementing the Autism Aid app was that some of these families are already burdened with financial challenges and so cannot even provide the basic Android tablet or iOS device to download the Autism Aid app or any other system. Because beyond these 3 that we've mentioned, there are other, autism apps on the online market that parents can download. But due to financial issues, do not have access to the tablets to be able to, support the children with the basic technology that we need. So. Definitely going forward, we would also have to look into introducing low-tech, innovations that can support accessibility. To improve accessibility, because for a family that is already burdened, you can't sell an app to them.
You have to find ways of paying for this.
Exactly.
Mr. Suka, you work in the community, right? What systems, policies, or social work structures need to be strengthened to ensure inclusive education for all?
Okay, if I want to take Ghana as a case study, I would say the government adopted inclusive education in 2016.
Okay.
That means all children, no child should be left out in education. So for that matter, there were policies, legislation, and other structures. For instance, the Children's Act 1988, Act 560, mandate that all children, every child has right to education. So in that case, no child should be left out, whether with disability or not. There is also the Disability Act of 2006, Act 715. That also makes it possible that every child, whether with disability or not, should also be in school. There is also this FQ, free compulsory universal basic education. Every child must have the opportunity to go to school. So no child should be left out, whether disadvantaged or not.
Wonderful.
Now, the issue is, has these legislations, policies, are they working very well? My no will be stronger than yes. Yes, because there are implementation gaps.
Right.
Yes, which need to be what? Strengthened. For instance, lack of legal issues. Enforcement. There should be a cut-out budget which can make it possible that those who are in helm of affairs are able to implement. There is also lack of implementation. For instance, enforcement is a problem. There should be annual reports. For instance, those directly involved, like Ministry of Education, Gender Ministry, they should come out with annual plan. Like this, what is going to happen this year. Then there should be audit on this report. There should be evaluation. There should be proper monitoring.
Thank you.
To make sure that all that government has, the policies are being implemented.
So don't just have the law. People should track it.
Yes.
Monitor, evaluate.
Yes.
And do assessments.
Yes.
All right.
And also, sorry.
No, yeah, okay, last one.
And also, you see, poverty is making it difficult for even some parents.
Yeah.
Yes, too. So there should be a way that poor people should be targeted.
Yeah.
So in this case, this Assembly's Common Fund, for instance, should always be, it shouldn't be something like it will come, they will pay this 3 months before they will pay. Those children should also have access to what? Health insurance. Yeah. There should be this capitation grant, this feeding, school feeding.
Yeah.
All these things should be strengthened. And when these things are put in place,
wonderful,
we think the inclusive education can work perfectly.
Let me end this round with a quick question on collaboration. So we have parents, we have schools, we have communities like techpreneurs and that kind of thing. Auntie Getty, how can they collaborate better to maximize the impact of EdTech tools for special needs? Talk about collaboration. How can they collaborate better? What can we do? What areas of collaboration would you propose?
Thank you very much. The areas of collaboration would, among others, include the joining the networks that works on the innovation and the changes, and particularly change of attitude into a positive, into the environment. So there are several networks of persons with disabilities, but there are more networks for everybody. And to understand that everybody, persons with disabilities are part of everybody. So whether you're a market group or a cultural group or farmers group, whatever you are, embrace persons with disabilities. Listen to their issues. And if it's technology about farming, if it's about data for marketing or for health, make sure that you work with them together. Then, thanks to Mr. Nsuka for talking about the implementation. So these networks should also strengthen the voices so that the existing policies that need to be implemented, and though that has to be even made better, like the Person with Disabilities Act is not in compliance with the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. So we are in the process of revising, and is at the stage for it to be enacted at the Parliament, and we're advocating. This network will help it.
Wonderful.
Then we talked about care, funding of equipment, and the mentorship. So if this network, society, wherever you are, teachers, parents, if we could support the issue of funds, is it Susu that we are making so that you don't leave your child disability behind? Make Susu, contribute, and then talk to the right people, the manufacturers, to add on, and the child gets it.
All right.
Mentorship. And also encouragement. Link them with others who have had the success and encourage them. And then also, don't tell them, you said that you are a sick person. No person with disability is sick. A person with disability is a disability. And disability is not sickness. And disability does not create barriers. It's we, the rest of the society.
Okay.
And finally, each of these groups are trainers, they are employers, they are entrepreneurs. They should embrace persons with disabilities so that they can have internship, they can learn with their children in school. I'm telling you, there are people who withdraw their children from mainstream schools because a child disability has been admitted in the school. In this era, how can it be possible? So if we all change this and collaborate and understand that disability is not a curse, it's not a misfortune, it's not somebody's call, but we are all together working on it. It got diversity.
All right.
And whether you like it or not, anyway, as we grow, we encounter it. Let's make a life easy for everybody. So even as we grow, and our knees and our heads and our ears and our eyes are failing, we have a lovely and a very enjoyable and productive community to live in together.
This is still EdTech Monday, and we're live, or we're on Channel 1 Television and also on Citi FM. We will take another interregnum where we will hear from more perspectives on the subject of inclusive education with EdTech. Stay with us.
EdTech can raise awareness for inclusive education by showcasing success stories and data-driven insights which would resonate with policymakers, educators, and the general public. Digital tools can help to amplify the voice of children and students with special needs by enabling them to express themselves, be it text-to-speech platforms or creative digital media, which would enable their life to be easier and better. To our communities, we can support children with special needs by reducing stigmatization, providing them with the needed support from their guardians, family members, teachers, and community members. These supports could be emotional, physical, and educational, and this would encourage, empower, and support them in their educational career, which will help them to become better people in society.
We're still discussing inclusive education using EdTech on the October edition of EdTech Monday, brought to you by the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Mest Africa. My name is Bernard Avle. My panel has just been blowing my mind with great ideas on technology, collaboration, access, and those nice things. I'm going to end by asking a final question. So, what one urgent step must Africa take to ensure inclusive education for children with special needs through EdTech? Mr. Suka.
Yeah, so Africa is always lagging behind in education in most things. But for this particular issue, Africa must introduce EdTech or technology, education technology in all schools.
All right.
Yes, no school should be left out. In that case, all children will benefit from, the inclusive education. And then it will improve quality of life of all children, for that matter, everybody. Yeah.
Wonderful. Mamaga, what are your thoughts on one urgent step Africa must take to improve learning outcomes in EdTech?
I think we need to look at awareness as a very critical thing that needs to be done, not just in Ghana, but the whole of Africa. Because for a child living with autism to enjoy a safe and an impactful learning environment, the teacher teaching the child should know very well about autism. The child or the other students in the classroom with that child should know best how to treat or accept that child living with autism. For that tech entrepreneur to be able to develop the best of assistive devices or tools or solutions to support the child with autism, that tech entrepreneur should be able to understand autism very well and know what can best fit or support a child living with autism. And so when awareness is, well drowned in a kind of society, in a kind of state, we all can better understand what way or the other can we support a child living with autism to enjoy a safe and an impactful education.
I'm going to end where I started with Mrs. Fefwame. So give us your closing thoughts on how the continent can accelerate inclusive education using EdTech.
Thank you very much. So Africa should seriously implement Agenda 263 and the Digital Compact of the Summit of the Future, utilize international cooperation and ensure equipment, the correct content for the user, and confidence building for the user is available so that everybody gets it at the same time on equal basis with others. Thank you.
Amazing closing thoughts. So it must be accessible, it must be available, it must be affordable, it must be inclusive. We've been discussing how to use the power of EdTech to bridge learning gaps and access for learners with special needs. In this October edition of EdTech Monday, my guests have been Mrs. Gertrude Ofori-Afepuame, who's an international disability rights advocate, an expert member, and immediate past chair of the UNCR CRPD committee, among other credentials. We've also had Mr. Aaron Anthony Suka, who is a retired civil servant, former head of Department for Social Welfare.
Protect yourself from germs and bacteria with confidence. Cleanse